Intelligent talk that's sure to raise the IQ.
Here's Guy Wehman, Ben Brunson, and Frank Vernuccio, Inside the News.
Welcome back to the program, Inside the News. Glad to have you with us. Thanks to all the radio affiliates across the country. KLOO, Clue Radio. I don't know, they probably don't like to be called Clue Radio, but it's KLOO out on the West Coast. Thank you so much for carrying Inside the News. Glad to have you with us. And now we're going to be talking about GameStop right now in Wall Street. We've got Frank Vernuccio and Ben Brunson. My name is Guy Wehman here on Inside the News. And Ben, you know a little bit about Wall Street, the inner workings of it. And here's the little guys, and they pumped up GameStop. And I think that they outsmarted the Wall Street guys with their own kind of thing. Well, you figure it out here, Ben. Go.
Yes, I did do my decade at Solomon Brothers, so I understand Wall Street a little bit.
Up there, huh?
Look, this is a situation in which there's going to be a lot of pain all the way around. The hedge funds that were short companies like GameStop have lost their shirts, lost a lot of money, had to be bailed out by other hedge funds. But the small investors who've been encouraged by Reddit, by people writing on Reddit and other sources, social media sources, to buy into stocks like GameStop are going to lose their shirts too. You have people who bought this stock at $300, $400 a share. It's worth $20 a share on a good day. And that's the reality. It'll find that level again after this run up. So the shorts got creamed, but the people who've gone long are going to lose what they put into this company. Robinhood, much has been made about Robinhood, the company, which is a startup about 5 years old, initially funded by Russians, by the way, which is a different story, and now funded by big VC funds like Sequoia. Robinhood has democratized the investing market by offering free trading, great technology, trading apps, make it very easy for the little guy to go trade. And that's their whole market. But the way Robinhood makes money is by selling that order flow to high frequency traders. And the guys who started Robinhood were in the high frequency trading technology business before. So they understood the market. They sell the order flow to high frequency traders. That's a whole nother discussion of whether that ought to be legal. It's essentially a version of front running, different story. But Robinhood itself is its own clearinghouse and trades clear at T+2, 2 days after a trade takes place. The market started to reject Robinhood's credit as a company, and they faced bankruptcy because of the amount of trades being done on their platform that were settling 2 days later, and how much money as a result Robinhood owed the rest of the marketplace. And that's why Robinhood had to restrict trading. And that's why Robinhood had to go raise capital in the private markets. They raised over $1 billion to shore up their balance sheet. And that's the reality of what caused Robinhood to crack down on this trading. They did not do it to come to bail out hedge funds or anything like that. The pain of the hedge funds had already long occurred. But I urge people who are tempted to buy into companies like GameStop. GameStop has been dead money for over a decade. It had a decent market cap in 2008, but it is a bricks and mortar business that really hasn't found what its future is going to be. It has a high probability of going the way of Blockbuster, which if you followed them 20 years ago, were high flyer that ultimately went under as everything went digital. That's GameStop's issue. It had a $1 billion market cap 18 months ago. And it had a $20+ billion market cap at the height of this frenzy, which is totally unsustainable. So I urge our listeners, don't get tempted to buy their stock. It's trading around $100, $110 as we speak. It's still grossly overvalued.
All right. You know something, Frank, and we're going to get into the next one about the U.S. energy policy, but with a name like Robinhood, the younger millennials, they love it. They're going to rob from the rich and they're going to give to the poor. And, oh, this is great. And we can get the apps on our phone and we can do all this kind of stuff. And so we're going to boost this little company. But I agree with Ben. when he says, it's a brick and mortar type of company. And here is this GameStop. I mean, it's gaming, and that's, World of Warcraft and all across all the platforms. You would think that they'd be more digitally technologically savvy. There we go.
Well, unfortunately, one mistake people make in the market, and I'm no expert on the market at all, but I do know that one mistake people make is to invest emotionally rather than intellectually. And I think what happened with GameStop, it became an emotional issue rather than a financial issue. And a lot of people are going to feel a lot of pain because of that.
All right, let's get into the energy issue. Go.
Well, look, we hear that President Biden wants to go back to the Paris Climate Accord. The result is going to be extraordinary pain for the average American. The fact of the matter is, if every nation, in fact, if every individual on the planet complied 100% with the Paris Climate Accord's diktats, it would make very little difference in the environment whatsoever. It is basically another version of bringing back a socialist scheme of transferring wealth, and that's all it is. There is no practical environmental effect of the Paris Climate Accord. It is a financial scheme to take money from point A, basically you, the average American, and put it to point B. That is where the socialist elite want it to go. There's one other aspect of the Paris Climate Accord, and in fact the Iran nuclear deal, that I think the press glosses over. You can call these accords, you can call these deals, they are not. They are treaties. According to the Constitution of the United States, a treaty has to be approved by the United States Senate. Neither President Obama nor President Biden has had the guts to put this to the Senate for a vote the way it's supposed to be, because they know that debate will expose the nonsense of the Paris Climate Accord and the utter irrationality of the Iran nuclear deal. This is a real kick in the tail, not only to each individual American wage earner, but to the Constitution itself.
When Frank was mentioning, about, taking from one with the Paris Accords, reminds me of Robinhood. Rob from the rich, give to the poor, Ben.
Yeah, except this is robbing from the average guy to give to the elitists around the world in their pet spending. The energy policies of Joe Biden, everyone who's ever played sports or gone to a gym, which is most of us, is aware of the phrase, no pain, no gain.
Right.
Well, the energy policies turn that on its ear. The Biden policies are all about pain with zero gain. In fact, only loss. These policies are crazy, and they're perpetrated by people who go on and on with this myth that the world is going to come to an end. Climate change will be irreversible, and it's just around the corner. We have a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. I've been hearing this for the last 40 years, and it's all nonsense. And as a result, we have bad policies. The reality is that the market, based on consumer demands, so all these ideas are reflected in consumer demands, the market has been reacting. The CO2 output of the United States is down to about a 35-year low at this point. And again, driven by consumer demand. Solar systems are in great demand. Electric cars are in great demand. That's why Tesla has a market cap about twice all other global auto manufacturers combined. So the market is going where people want it to go, and it's doing it in an orderly basis. But when the government steps in to try to accelerate this and impose their view on how this ought to go, there's nothing but pain and suffering as a result. And that's what we're facing, unfortunately.
All right, we've got to get out of here. We're going to be talking about packing the court, impeachment 2.0, and the Lincoln Project. Do you even know what the Lincoln Project is? We'll be back.
You're listening to Wehman, Brunson, and Vernuccio, Inside the News.